Hi, everybody. Colin Plume, CEO of Noble Gold Investments. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're taking questions from that people submitted over the last few days, and we're going to just go through them line by line. I've been asking for people to give us feedback and questions that we have. And so I'm going to go ahead and go through each one and give you a little bit of my take on what's happening. First question today was, what are the primary drivers behind gold's recent surge past $3,900 an ounce? Well, it's past that already. So this question was from a few days ago, as we've broken through $4,000 an ounce. And I think part of it is just this, it's this shaky macro political climate that we're in where, people are getting away from dollars. The government's currently shut down. There's gridlock right now. Things are not happening in the markets. And so I think that it's a combination of those things. It's a flight to safety that we're seeing right now. Also, the rate cut expectations are becoming more aggressive. I think that the Fed talked about rate cuts, did a rate cut, but now based on the fact that the economic data is worse and getting worse, right now we don't even have it because the government shut down. Plus, the person they hired, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to report on the government data. So it's all this ambiguity out there. And I think with ambiguity, you typically see a scenario where gold will do really well. Gold's down 11%. The dollar's down 11% this year. That's another factor that's pushing the price of gold. We're seeing a lot of overseas buying, a lot of tremendous buying from overseas. So you have a lot of those things happening that are pushing the price above $4,000 an ounce. But we have a very wealthy trader that's talking about what he sees in the gold.
Gold is at record highs, and the appreciation in other dollar substitutes, to use that word loosely, in items like crypto, for example, is unbelievable. So we're seeing substantial asset inflation away from the dollar as people are looking for ways to effectively de-dollarize or de-risk their portfolios vis-a-vis U.S. sovereign risk.
Are you really seeing that?
No, just check the price of gold.
Well,
I don't have to look very hard.
It's a life of its own. Yeah.
What?
It's a life of its own, gold.
No, but it's a life of its own as you see sovereigns around the world, as you see central banks around the world, as you see individual investors around the world go, you know what? I now view gold as a safe harbor asset in a way that the dollar used to be viewed. That's what's really concerning to me.
Yeah, and we've been talking about this for years and years and years, and now we've seen this massive uptick in the price of gold. I can't even tell you how many text messages I've gotten from clients and friends and just overall people that are just over the moon with this $4,000 price. Let's look at, this is an interesting chart. I love this chart because this is a conversation I have all the time with people where they say, gold doesn't pay a dividend. Well, who needs a dividend when you have 112% return over the last 5 years and are outpacing the NASDAQ? That's real money right there. People have really protected themselves by getting into gold. And so that's based on where the price is, over $4,000 an ounce. It's pretty amazing. Look at that. Just all the way up, moving up. So it's been exciting with gold. Next question, silver. Silver has recently reached multi-year highs. To what extent is its rally dependent on industrial demand versus safe haven demand? I'm gonna get into this, but the first thing I want to just read something. So, Silver is a New Oil is my book, came out in December, and I was reading through. I'm top 25 on Amazon right now, and we really, haven't done. We send it out to clients and this that, but we really haven't done a massive marketing campaign to get the book out there. But it's been steady. It hit #1 within 2 weeks. It's been trending in the 15 to 25 range. But I was just reading some of the reviews And there's a lot of reviews of people there's multiple reviews of people that just say it's like I was just promoting myself and that there's no value in it. There's these people that are just, they live to, say negative things about you. So, I mean, those are sort of irrelevant. But I think here's a review that I like, because this is actually what I really tried to do. Plume isn't just promoting silver because it's his trade. He generally lays out compelling arguments backed by industry data, historical trends, and future forecasts. Whether it's the growing demand for silver in renewable energy, electric vehicles, or medical applications, the book aggregates a wide swath of market information and it distills it into key insights that even those new to investing can grasp. And that's really what I wanted to do with the book. I wanted to make it easy for anybody to understand. But I lay out the different arguments, and it's not just EVs, it's not just green tech. There's other industries that are continuing to use silver. And that's why I just feel so comfortable recommending silver. Since the book came out in December, silver is sitting at $29 an ounce. Now we're really close to 50 today. We're at where are we at with the price of silver? We're at about $49 today. So we're right there. That'll break the all-time high for silver. So I expect that to happen in the next, probably a few days and a week. I mean, the trends are just unbelievable with silver. But the thing about silver, I think that's changed is that I think the 80s, 90s, the 2000s, even the 2010, it was mostly industrial. And now I think we're seeing more of a monetary investor demand that we've never seen. When I saw Russia and Saudi Arabia make that massive purchase a few weeks ago and really just buy it as an asset and not strictly for industrial, I knew things had changed. I knew that they were looking at it from an investment point of view and not just buying it for their military or other uses. And so I think that's been the big shift that people should recognize. And that's always been the hard thing about silver compared to gold, is that it was mostly an industrial metal. And I think it's veered into more of a monetary type metal over the last year or two. I think people are seeing it as a good hold for a central bank to have to couple with gold. They're both of the metals are making sense, whereas gold typically was the one that made more sense. The other thing too is, keep in mind with silver, and you can read up on this more, but silver is typically mined as a byproduct. It's not typically the main metal that they're mining. And so as much as we have a shortage, and we've had a shortage in silver for the past 5 years, it still doesn't have the amount of miners that you would expect for a silver to be where it's at. And so I think that's pretty telling of where things are going. And HSBC, is talking about gold strength. And then we've talked a lot about the gold to silver ratio. We were at 100-1 for a long time, so it made sense that silver shot up. So I think silver makes a lot of sense where it's at. I think it's going to break through its all-time high. And I think my projection for first quarter of next year in my book was silver to hit about $58 an ounce. So we're well on our way to getting there. Next question. How big of a role are central banks playing in absorbing supply and influencing price direction? Well, interestingly enough, central bank buying is down a little bit this year. So this price surge, to hit 1,000 tons, you need about 85 tons a month, give or take. And we've seen trades of about 60 to 65. So I expect this last quarter to see some pretty heavy central bank buying. I am surprised that they didn't buy more, the first 2 quarters of this year, but it does play a big part in it because central banks are typically holders and not sellers of metal. They'll put it away for their reserves, but they're actually a little bit slower this year than they've been in the other years, the last 4 or 5 years in the past. So we'll see how they end up in the last quarter of this year. Next question. What risks do you see if interest rates begin rising again? At what interest rate level would be gold and silver become less attractive? Well, interest rates rising could absolutely happen. The Fed is actively trying to get interest rates down by cutting rates, but that's not the only thing that would affect rates. Rates could continue to go up if there's less confidence in bonds. The bond market's not buying bonds at the rates. If the 10-year continues to go up, that can happen. My gut is it won't happen. I think we're going to see a point in the first quarter of next year where we'll see either a quantitative easing or some kind of money stimulation that will get rates down and get more money movement out in the market. So I do think rates will come down a little bit. So I don't think it'll be an issue. Either way, with rates going up or rates going down, gold has performed well over the last 5 years, because let's not forget 2020 and 2021. At the end of 2021, we saw inflation really spike. In 2022, and you saw the gold price continue to go up and hold steady. So I don't know if we should look at interest rates as the only factor that would affect the gold price. This is a good one. This is something a lot of people ask us about. Officially, economists say we're not in a recession. Many Americans would disagree. Let's pull up the chart. From your perspective, do parts of the country already feel like they're in one, and how does that reality impact gold and silver demand? We have a chart here that goes into, let's see what we got here. We got a chart on what states are in a recession. And yeah, here you look here. And, not shocking, the states that are expanding are typically more conservative states, Texas, Florida. A lot of the states in the north are look to be very close to in a recession. Some of it has to do with farming. Just overall, job growth has slowed. And then you see the states treading water. California, as they believe, is treading water. So it'll be interesting what happens once the data starts coming out again, if we're moving closer to a recession or moving away from it. I don't think it really is going to make a difference for the gold price either way. But yes, I think you're looking at a lot state by state. It looks like we're teetering and, potentially very close to running into a recession. Let's cut to, we have a commercial here. Let's cut to that real quick.
When I first decided to invest in gold, I was a bit nervous and unsure how to start. Luckily, I found Noble Gold Investments. From the very first call, they made investing easy. No pushy sales tactics, no gimmicks, and no confusing free silver offers with hidden fees. Just honest advice tailored to my needs, giving me confidence every step of the way. If you're new to gold investing or want a partner you can trust, visit noblegoldinvestments.com.
All right. One of the questions we get is, how easy is it to start a gold IRA? Do you have to do all the IRA? How does it work? Yeah, we get this question a lot. And first of all, it's very easy with us. We do all the paperwork. We have a one-page form that you fill out on the website. We send you back a DocuSign to fill out. And then you're pretty much done. Our team will contact you if we need you. But in essence, what's going to happen next is, if it's an IRA, we're going to move over the dollar amount that you told us, which, to answer the second question, you can do all or a portion of your IRA, whatever amount you designate. We will move over the dollar amount that you decide, and it's going to move from one qualified IRA into another. So your IRA will move over, and it'll initially sit in cash. So it goes from whatever investment you had, you'll have to move it into cash, and then we'll move it over into cash. And then we'll call you, and then you'll decide if you want gold, silver, bullion coins, bullion bars. You'll make the decision about what you want. Someone at Noble Gold will walk you through that process. You'll take your time, and you'll ultimately decide what you want. We focus on bullion coins and bars, is what all the big institutions buy. And then once that happens, we will go ahead and get your metals shipped out to the depository. It's going to go to either Texas or Delaware. It's all segregated storage. So what happens is when the delivery gets there, they open up the boxes. It's all very secure facility. They're going to go ahead, and we're the only company that does this. They're going to put your inventory, they're going to test it, verify it. They're going to put your inventory out, kind of like what we have here. Take a picture of it, send you a picture of that. We pay for that service. It's an extra service just so you can see the metals as they've arrived. And then they're going to shrink wrap your gold and silver and slide it on its own shelf. It's a very specific way that we do this. Now, not all depositories, not all gold dealers do this. I believe, and I think that people like this, that we are offering segregated storage, which we've negotiated a very fair rate. The stores, the IRA, everything is about $250 a year, and that's unlimited. So you could have, $1 million or $2 million in gold and silver. It's still going to be the same price. And we shrink wrap it and put it on a shelf. So everybody is segregated. There's commingled storage that other companies offer. We don't do that. We offer segregated storage, and it's held in the depository for you. Now, what I do is I go twice a year. I'll take about 100 accounts. I'll bring the receipts. I'll go to the vault, and I'll tell them to pull out those accounts. And then they'll open up the package, and I'll count the ounces of gold and silver. And I do that. It's called a blind audit, and I'm going to do that again in about a month. I love doing it. I love seeing what's there, giving people peace of mind that they have metals there, that they're there, they're segregated, and they're in a secure vault. They're also insured by Lloyd's of London. And I've been doing this. I've been in the precious metal space for about 17 years. Noble Gold will be 10 years in business next year. And we've always done it this way. We've never had an issue. There's never been one issue in the whole existence of the company. And then if you want to sell it, we'll buy it back. You can sell it to somebody else if you want. Or at retirement, you could just take possession. You could tell them, you could say, hey, send me my gold kilo bar, and we'll ship the metals out to you. That's at retirement. Obviously, you'd have to pay tax at that time. If you have an traditional, if you have a Roth, then you wouldn't pay tax. And that's how we do that process. We've sold just under $3 billion in gold and silver, and we've done a little over $2 billion in IRA sales. So we've done a lot of these transactions, thousands and thousands of transactions, thousands and thousands of clients. And security and safety is our number one priority when it comes to this. Whether we ship it to you or we store it, it's all about security, safety, and then obviously being available to answer questions. If you call us, you can always call and answer. We're there for you for the life of the account. We don't charge any fees to manage the account. We're not in the management business. So you call us anytime you have a question, you're ready to sell, you just want to know how much your portfolios work, you can contact us. We do all that for you here at Noble Gold. We've been doing it that way for a long time. And we have a very specific process to make sure that the client's satisfied, they're taken care of, they're secure, because it's really important to us that everyone's handled it a very specific way. And we've had a lot of success doing it. So that's our IRA process. In terms of buying with cash, we can store at that depository too if you want, or we can ship directly. Most people want to have it shipped. You just call us. We can go over what you want to purchase. You send us a wire. And we're shipping right now within 3 business days. So it takes a few days after that to get there. It comes in a secure package. You have to sign for it. But we're getting metals all in from start to finish. You could have your metals in your hands in about 2 weeks, sometimes faster, depending on how, if we can get the shipment out. I'd like to get it out the next day if I could. So we love to get the metals shipped out quickly. So that's sort of the process of how we do it at Noble Gold. Then you're going to have your representative, and you can call that person at any time. So that's a little bit about us, about gold and silver. We obviously right now are incredibly busy. We're scheduling appointments for clients to talk to someone. And the people you're going to talk to at Noble Gold have a lot of experience. We have, traders that have been doing this for over 10 years. But our average age, trader on the phone is over 5 years experience in the space. So you're going to talk to somebody that has a lot of experience in precious metals. Yeah, here's a few. Okay, what if I have a 403b or a different retirement account? Yeah, so a 403b is an account that we move over all the time. It's from Miguel. And yeah, we move those accounts over all the time. They are qualified as long as you're no longer with that employer or you're above the age of 59 and a half. So if those two things are accurate, we can absolutely move over those accounts. We do a lot of those. So we do TSPs, Roth, traditional SEP IRAs all the time. 401ks, 403bs, you have to no longer be working there above the age of 59 and a half to qualify, because 401ks and 403bs, if you're still employed there, they won't let you move the money out. They'll tax you. And obviously we don't want that to happen to any of our clients. So that's, our process. Anybody that, if you watched this live stream before, if you, just curious about how the process works, call us, just talk to somebody. We love talking to people. We're sort of the antithesis of the, where everything's going, where they don't want to talk to anybody on the phone. We do want to talk to you on the phone. So give us a call at Noble Gold Investments. The phone number is 877-646-5347. And then last question kind of coming out of here is, with geopolitical instability rising, U.S. debt surpassing $36 trillion, do you think gold could retake a formal role in the global monetary system? Well, I think what that gentleman was sort of saying is that, and what the woman was saying is that, like, gold has a life of its own, and it has a life of its own because you can only grow the gold supply by 1% per year, because that's all there is. That's the beauty behind gold, is that it's an industrial metal. You can use it in a heart monitor. It's used in so many cell phones. So it has all those applications, but there's a limited supply. You need a limited supply to have value. Everybody knows things that have a limited supply that people want go up in value. Gold is like that. It's very similar. So I think it is taking a formal role in the global monetary system. I think it is replacing the dollar, and I think it will continue to go that way. And I think we got a lot of room to run. And now I think when you saw Jim Rickards and Peter Thiel and all these billionaires say, gold can get to 15 or 20 or $30,000 an ounce, I think everybody laughed. But I think gold moving up this quickly, breaking $4,000 an ounce, I think people realize these numbers can happen with the gold price. So very exciting. Thank you, everyone. Keep the questions coming. I love answering questions. We love answering questions. Call us, talk to somebody on our team. We'd love to help you get into the precious metals space if you're interested, or if you just want to learn, call us and we'll give you some free information.